Earlier, the accusation should be investigated. Democrats, though, are happy to oblige if they don't drown in their own hypocrisy first. Fox News chief national correspondent Ed Henry joins us to explain. Ed.
Laura, great to see you. Dr. Ford, as well as Judge Kavanaugh, have been invited to testify in public next Monday by the Senate Judiciary Committee. The White House saying Kavanaugh will testify tomorrow if they want, because he's so eager to clear his name. Remember, Democrat Dianne Feinstein, as you just mentioned, has known about an anonymous allegation along these lines since July, had not said anything until late last week, something President Trump noted today in comments at the White House, telling reporters that the senator should have had the courage to confront Kavanaugh face to face. Well, Philip Wegman, writing today in the Washington Examiner, that Feinstein, as well as leading Democrats Chuck Schumer, Dick Durbin, and Patty Murray were all in Congress when charges of rape were leveled against then-President Bill Clinton. Wegman writing, quote, Juanita Broderick accused then-President Bill Clinton of raping her. Clinton was not a teenager at the time, in his hotel room during his first gubernatorial race in Arkansas in 1978. The Senate was in the middle of an impeachment trial in 1999. Not one of those Democrats called for an investigation into the Broderick accusation. So when Durbin tweeted this over the weekend, quote, if the Me Too movement has taught us anything, it's that we must respect and listen to the survivors of sexual assault, regardless of the age of those involved or when the alleged attack took place. Broderick was not buying it, responding on Twitter, quote, well, Dick, do I have a story for you? Once upon a time, Bill Clinton raped me. You voted not guilty on both counts at Clinton's impeachment. You didn't give a damn back then. You, Dickie Durbin, are a complete fraud. Well, here's what Broderick has said previously about a confrontation she had with Hillary Clinton. Listen.
She came over to me, took a hold of my hand, and said, I've heard so much about you, and I've been dying to meet you, or been wanting to meet you. I can't, it's just paraphrasing right now. And she said, I just want you to know how much that Bill and I appreciate what you do for him. And she held on to my hand, and she said, do you understand everything that you do? I mean, cold chills went up my spine. That's the first time I became afraid of that woman.
Now, Democrats have been noting the shoe may be on the other foot now for Kavanaugh. Remember, during the Clinton administration, he was working on independent counsel Ken Starr's team and was pushing for as much transparency as possible about Bill Clinton's personal life, though it's important to note that rather than running from this accusation now, Kavanaugh has gone on the record to deny it and has said he's willing to testify as soon as possible, Laura.
All right, thanks so much, Ed. And as Ed highlighted, Democrats sang a different tune when multiple allegations of misconduct were raised about Bill Clinton. Joining us with more is Juanita Broderick, who famously accused the former president of raping her. Juanita, I know when you watch this unfold today with the sanctimonious comments from everyone from Chuck Schumer, of course, to Dick Durbin, Dianne Feinstein, what ran through your mind?
Oh, it makes me go back to 1999 when Dianne Feinstein, along with every other Democrat, refused to read my deposition to the independent counsel. They wouldn't have nothing to do with it. That just shows you the difference in the double standard that existed back then and still does today. I think this is astonishing that they can do this to Mr. Kavanaugh.
Well, if your allegations should have been taken more seriously, why shouldn't this woman's allegations be taken seriously as well? I mean, the process notwithstanding, should her word not be respected? Just because yours wasn't respected years ago, why not respect her word and at least give her a chance to be heard?
Oh, I think that she should be heard, but I still have so many reservations about her comments. I can't imagine a young girl going through what Ms. Ford said she went through and not tell anyone. You know, what I went through was horrific. And of course, the lady that found me was the first one that I told. But I told 4 other people. That's just something that I can't imagine that you can keep to yourself and not share with one of your closest friends.
Well, there are a lot of people who have been victims of sexual abuse or serious harassment say every story is different. There were a number of women who called into my radio show today, Juanita, who had actually been victims of rape and other sexual assault. This is a montage of what some of them said.
When I was 19, I was sexually abused. I know I've never forgotten the situation. And I cannot believe that this woman suddenly remembered now.
I was raped 40 years ago, and I'm absolutely furious. And I know that this is a last-minute ploy, again, by the left.
Having background myself of being a rape victim, you do not go about this the way this is coming out. This is for attention. And that does a horrible service to people that have actually had everything taken from them. I used to be a Democratic. I will never vote Democratic again.
Juanita, quick response.
Oh, yeah, I still just can't imagine it. People say, why didn't you go to the police, Juanita? Why didn't you do something? Bill Clinton was the police. I had no one to go to. It's like when Eric Snyderman's victims came forward and said, when he was the Attorney General of New York, what do you do when your sexual abuser is the highest law enforcement officer in your state? What do you do?
Well, something that happens in high school is very, very difficult to get to the bottom of 36 years later. And obviously she's not accusing Brett Kavanaugh of raping her, but apparently she said she was concerned that might happen if someone wasn't in the room. But again, he said, she said, it's very difficult, no pattern of such behavior. Juanita Broderick, thank you for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it. And President Trump is ordering the